Hello and welcome to another episode of Martin Mechanical Machines. My name's John and today we are having a look round my rather lovely 1994 VW LT35E. I've had this now since 2019 and it's just a beautiful thing and I've spent a lot of money on it, so I thought we'd have a little wander around, have a chat about it. So please. Thank you, camera lady, very useful. Right everybody, so here we are. This is a video that a few people have actually asked me to do, so I thought I'd oblige. So here she is. I did do a video very early on in this YouTube channel on this girl, but she was in a pretty sorry state when that was done. So this is a few years since I had the body work done on this one, and unfortunately there are signs of it, the rust coming back, but I thought we'll still do it anyway. But here she is. So yes, like I said, she's a 1994 LT35E, E denoting that it's a single rear wheel axle. It's heavy duty. She is up to, so 35 meaning she's up to 3.5 ton. I think unladen she sits around about 1.7 tons, I believe. She has a 2.4 naturally aspirated 6-cylinder diesel, which sounds glorious. She also has a 5-speed gearbox, although really it's a 4-speed with a crawler, so it's got a very low first gear. So yeah, it's a cool thing. I always wanted one of these. I had a family down on the south coast, a little place called Seaford, between Brighton and Eastbourne in Sussex. I had family who owned a couple of flats and a house down in Seaford, and they had a little bit of waste ground, and they had 2 of these as just storage. They were absolutely rotten, but I used to go down there as a teenager and stay there for, you know, a couple of weeks over the summer. And my sort of uncle, he wasn't my uncle, but he was just like an uncle, who was just the most amazing Irishman. He was just brilliant. He was such a laugh. He would take me down and he'd say, "These are your vans, play with them however you want it." And I loved them, they were great. He had 2 of these, a green one and a yellow one, and he had also a couple of Saab 99s, which I used to play with as well. They never ran. I think I managed to get one of the Saab 99s running, and he came running out and turned it off almost immediately. But the rest of the stuff, they were all rotten old knackered things. So, but anyway, as you can see with this, I bought this in 2019, May 2019. I found it off a guy who was an off-gridder. He lived in a forested area, and this was his sort of run-around van that he picked up different bits and pieces with. So it needed quite a lot of work doing to it when I first picked it up, and so because it needed that quite, yes, as I was saying, he was an off-gridder, so he ran this vehicle and did odd jobs and things with it and picked things up to do with his off-gridding. So I don't know if I think he was building a cabin around an old camper van. Anyway, I bought this off him. He wanted quite a lot of money for it, I felt at the time, but I managed to get a deal on it. I did initially walk away from it and changed my mind and walked back and offered him a deal on it. And so yeah, so I offered on this, I bought it, and I drove it home from Bath, which is, I say, where the vehicle was. We went down one of the bank holiday weekends, and I collected the van. No, sorry, we went down the bank holiday weekend to look at it, and then I went down a couple of weeks later and picked it up. One of my close friends is in the British Army, and his barracks wasn't too far away from the pickup point. So I thought, well, let's just go and and get him to take me down there, which he did, and it worked out really well. But anyway, when I got this, it was in really quite a sorry state. It was quite rusty, had quite a lot of issues on it, and yeah, I've spent a small fortune on it, getting it even to this kind of state, although sadly it's starting to rot out in places, which is, you know, a bit sad really, because I did spend a lot of money on it. But it's just, I think, tantamount to sort of this, to what this can be like weather-wise, and when you use something every day, which is what I've been doing with it. I've been using it every day as part of my business. So but yeah, so it's had basically, I'll get my finger here, most of this paneling down here has been replaced. So sort of, you can, there's a chap in Stoke-on-Trent who basically went back to a friend of his in Poland and said, have you got, could you press me these panels? And his friend ran a pressing shop, or had a pressing shop. Anyway, started pressing panels for these and shipping them back from Poland, and he sells them over here at very reasonable prices. So a lot of the panel work that's been done on this has been done. I'm trying to remember what we replaced on the front here. I think this panel's been replaced. I think some of these edges have been replaced. Inside here there's a big structural piece, and the whole front of that structure here had completely rotted away, so that's basically been rebuilt. It is actually a facelift, so it should have the bulbous nose on it and the different bumper, but I didn't like it, so I've had it made to look like an earlier one. Now that does mean that you end up with this ridge here where the bigger bumper should fit into, and also you end up with these larger holes. The holes on earlier ones were much smaller than this, but you know, I can live with it. I have talked about putting some kind of gauze grill or something in there, but I don't know. I'm sort of selling it at the moment. That's how I feel about it. So anyway, it's had yeah, more panel work done along here. A lot of these here have been replaced. The whole bottom of this sliding door was rebuilt because that was completely rotten. I believe it had this panel, new arches, and along the back here certain spots. There was a big dent here. Yeah, lots and lots of different bits and pieces on it that needed correcting, so they were rebuilt by these guys down at Old Town Restorations. They did the work. Paint job, yeah, unfortunately it's not the best in the world, and unfortunately a lot of the rust is starting to come through in places, which you can see, which is a bit gutting for me after what I've spent on it. So you can see there, a little bit there, and these bits here are splitting here. Go a bit further along, some of these seams are just starting to go. Here there's quite a few issues on that panel and up to there. So yeah, it's a bit upsetting really, because I know how much money I've spent on it. These issues were me, all these along here were me. I did those with putting stuff in and out the back of the van. So sadly, in fact, literally about a week after the work was done, I helped a friend move a piano and dropped the piano, and it chipped a great chunk of load off there, which I wasn't very happy about. And you can see it's sort of going here as well, which is a real shame. I don't know, something's knocked on the inside, and we've got some damage on the paintwork there as well. So there's some correction to do at some point, whether that's something I do or whether it's something a new owner does, I don't really know at the moment. You know, we never did anything with the roof either, so the roof has had nothing done to it. So it does have some green sort of mold and algae on the top of it, and you can just make out Peter Mullins and stepson, I think it says, cabinet maker, which was where the van spent most of its life, on Hayling Island, as a cabinet maker's van, which is sort of why when we go into the back you can see it's sort of slatted, which I think was done for that like that, so that it was easy to slide bits and pieces inside. So these wooden slats here, I think these were so that you could put furniture in or cabinets and slide them down. So, but I've left them. I think they're part of it. It's, you know, it is what it is in here. Yes, it doesn't look that tidy. That axle isn't for this. It's for a Ford Transit that I've got. But you can see the repairs. It's had a repair done here. Not the best on the inside, but it's a repair. It's had quite a lot of repair work done on the floor as well, which I can't really get to, but underneath this wood here, it's had quite a lot of welding done. The back floor had rotted out here, so I've had that done, all professionally done, and seam sealed and all that kind of thing. You can see some of the inside repairs down there, which were done. But it's been used. I mean, I've used this as my work van, so it's had a lot of work, a lot of equipment running around in here all the time. So it's cosmetic, really. It's all pretty tidy though. Spare wheel. No, it's all pretty good. The plastic roof's in very, very good condition. I mean, there's no cracks, no damage in that at all. So that's always good. Sliding door works really, really well on it. Let's have a, there we go. See, that runs really well. Nice step in there. I mean, it'd make a lovely conversion for someone one day. I think it'd be a lovely van for someone to convert into a camper van, and I think probably that's what needs to happen to it. Although it is a rare survivor as a panel van. Brilliant storage just up there above the cab, which is just brilliant. So and then we'll go and have a quick look inside the cab itself. So you can see door cards are in good nick. Okay, there's a little bit of discoloration there, but you could get rid of that. Plastic mats in really quite good condition. Sadly, the gate around the gear stick isn't in the best condition, and the seats, I've given them a quick clean. They're not the best, but they could have another good clean, probably with a sort of steam vac or something would work. And all this is like faded, and you could silicone black it and it would come up quite nice, I think. But she's just very original. Okay, we've had the bodywork done. That's just to keep it going, really. But it's original in other aspects. Original engine, which is low miles. I can show you there. It's got 116,962 miles. Which is nothing really for one of these, because you see these on Marketplace or eBay with 200,000+ on them. So it's got no radio, but it's had no radio. It's had no radio since I bought it. I bought a radio 3 years ago to go in, and I've never put it in. So it's I'm not bothered, because to be honest, when you've got a soundtrack like the engine in this is, let's have a start up. Start the old girl up. Ready, everybody? I mean, listen to that. It just sounds glorious. You get a little bit of smoke on startup sometimes. Normally if she's sat for a week or so, you'll get a bit of smoke on startup, and it does, especially in this colder weather, does run a little bit lumpier. But listen to it. It's a beautiful sounding bit of equipment. It really is. I do absolutely adore it. But I think I'm going to, it is for sale. I've got it up for £6,750. I think that's fair for the amount of work it's had done to it. Some say it may be overpriced, but you know, there's a lot's been done there that you won't have to do. And okay, there are some issues with the paint, but someone could come along on a weekend and correct those probably quite easily. And this is a very usable, well-rounded machine that you could just add to and make better. But you know, like I say, it's time for me, I think, is drawing to a close, and I need something that's a bit newer and a bit more modern for my business. If I could really afford to keep it, I would. And I always said when I purchased it that I'd never let it go, but how times change, life evolves. So, but yeah, there she is. So much anticipated by, I think, certain people from the that have been watching the channel. Really looking forward to seeing this, and here it is. So yeah, tell me what you think. Like and subscribe. I'm going to have to splice these together because I've had to do this video in a couple of takes, unfortunately, but I'll have to splice them together a bit, try a bit of the old editing out, I think. But yeah, it's a fun thing. It's a fun machine, and I will be sad to see it go, but times move on and you have to sort of adjust. And I think this is, I'd love another one, I really would. I'd love a tin top, a short wheelbase tin top petrol, 2.4 petrol would be quite nice. But it's a glorious sound. Listen to that. It just, how nice does that sound? So, but yeah, like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Are you happy with the content? Are you happy with what I said about the van? Anything you would like me to add? I can do more on the van. I mean, we could probably go and do a drive in the van video if that's something people would like to see. Maybe I'll bring my camera lady along for her to video me, or maybe I'll get some suction pads for the window. That'd be quite cool. And do a sort of running chat and drive. Show you the gears. The gears are a strange one. It's a dog leg, so first is down and to the left. So we can do that as well. Yeah, it's just, I'll just last little bit of for you guys and see what you think. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Take care, and I look forward to future videos. And like I say, like, subscribe, click that bell, subscribe, get the numbers up, please. And I hope that's the video that people were waiting to see. Thanks very much. Bye for now.